It's February 10th, 1997, and this is episode 74 of WCW Nitro. Commentary for the first hour of the show is Larry Zbyszko and Tony Schiavone, followed in the second hour by the three-man team of Tony Schiavone, Mike Tenay, and Bobby Heenan. The opening match is champion versus champion. The Cruiserweight champion Dean Malenko is taking on the United States champion Eddie Guerrero. Before the match, Malenko jumps on the mic and calls out Six. Malenko says he knows that Six stole his Cruiserweight title last week. Malenko says to Six that he's inviting him out to a wrestling match and a lesson in respect.
In this telecast, what he's got to do is keep. How about that? Snapmare is in a pretty tough spot here, but he rolls. Up goes Eddie. It's a takeover, but to the side of the head. The power slam. Of the reasons why WCW. Man, now here's a pickup.
During the match, Six heads out and tries to steal Eddie's United States title again. Eddie is able to stop Six from taking his belt, but it would cost him the match with Malenko, losing the match via countout. Next up, Diamond Dallas Page heads to the ring. Dallas says he's tired of running and if something's going to happen, it needs to happen right now. We then see Sting and the Macho Man Randy Savage in the crowd. They begin making their way to the ring together. Once in the ring, they both circle Dallas. Savage has the baseball bat, hitting Dallas's chair as he circles. Similar to what Sting did to Savage a few weeks ago. Dallas stands up and Savage gives Sting the bat. Sting shoves Dallas multiple times with the bat.
Yeah, hey, come on, look.
Sting then gives the bat to Dallas, and both he and Savage turn their backs, allowing Dallas to hit them. Dallas chooses not to hit Sting or Savage. Sting leaves the ring. Savage takes the bat from Dallas and follows Sting. Dallas watches them leave and then leaves alone. Next up, Konnan is taking on Bobby Eaton.
I can't blame Roddy. Match, but a very embarrassing moment of a world champion, and that is, and we are off and running on night. The event, of course, super bright ever. He also knows the responsibility. He's got Bobby hooked, and he drops him.
Konnan wins the match with a modified DDT. Next up, Ron Powers is taking on Lex Luger. Luger heads out with a cast on his hand, no doubt a result of the attack from the Outsiders last week. We then see Erich Bischoff heading out behind Luger. Bischoff is not letting Luger wrestle tonight without a medical clearance. Bischoff tells Luger that he needs a medical clearance today to wrestle. If he doesn't, then he will also not be wrestling at Super Brawl in 2 weeks. Luger leaves to get his clearance. Bischoff keeps talking on the mic. We then see the Giant heading down the ramp behind him. The Giant confronts Bischoff, but Bischoff quickly leaves. The Giant then takes Luger's spot against Ron Powers.
For the New World Order, but he does have the authority to stop a man. Nitro, but he is stacking on somebody. Up 270, and drops it.
The Giant wins the match with a chokeslam. After the match, Mike Tenay heads to the ring to interview the Giant. Tenay asks the Giant if he's concerned with the prospect of losing his partner Lex Luger for their match at Super Brawl. The Giant says he will take on the Outsiders alone if he has to, but trusts that Luger will be his partner. The Giant says he's only got one question to ask Luger tonight. Hearing this, Lex Luger heads to the ring. The Giant asks Luger if he wants to go for the tag team titles in their match at Super Brawl. Luger agrees with the Giant to challenge the Outsiders, Hall and Nash, for their tag team titles at Super Brawl. Before the next match, we cut backstage to the arrival of the Outsiders, Hall and Nash, with Big Bubba. The next match is the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott Steiner, versus High Voltage, Kenny Chaos, and Robbie Rage.
Match as part of Super Brawl.
During the match, we see Harlem Heat head out to scout.
Scott Steiner to paper.
The Faces of Fear are also out to watch the match, and then we also see the Public Enemy join them.
Maybe even the young. Very interesting. We will. And the card is getting bigger. Title, you get more tender. And of course, Steiner's getting up. Rage. Oh, he caught him in the Steiner Bulldog. Oh my!
The Steiners win the match with a double team. Next up, the Outsiders, Hall and Nash, Six, and Erich Bischoff with Nick Patrick head out. They then take over the announcers table. Bischoff calls out Randy Anderson, the referee fired 2 weeks ago. Randy Anderson heads out with his family and asks for his job back. Bischoff asks them all to come closer, especially the kids. Bischoff then tells the kids to tell their father that he's still fired and laughs in their face.
Would you please tell your daddy that he's still fired?
Bischoff tells Randy Anderson that if he really wants to come back, then he can come to Nitro next week and get into the ring with Nick Patrick. Randy Anderson accepts. So next week we will see a WCW referee taking on an NWO referee. Next up, the Extreme head out to the ring to take on the Outsiders. The Outsiders attack the Extreme on their way to the ring.
No! Oh!
Yeah, I've called the action guy.
One of the most powerful, look at that, a choke slam!
Scott Hall wins the match with a choke slam while Nash is doing his version of the torture rack. After the match, Six conducts a post-match interview with the Outsiders. Nash and Hall both cut promos on the Giant and Lex Luger. The next match is for the WCW television title. Lord Steven Regal is defending against Rey Mysterio Jr. Before the match, we see Regal taking Mysterio lightly due to his size.
Face, and if you have to do it in front of... Oh!
Regal using...
Regal seems to spend much of this match taunting Rey and the fans.
Last time we saw him, he was like a wild...
I mean...
A little bit later on in this telecast, advantage there, Mike.
Well, Mysterio appeared.
This one's for you. Well, you're right about that, Mike. What Regal's done is he's taken away his
For the hospitality they have given World Championship Wrestling, name a few, and of course, Monday Nitro will be in Sacramento at the Nitro 8-0. Some announcers come out here with a polka dot, moving in and pulling down on the top ropes line. Did Regal up on top? It's
Agility. Really?
Look at the power of Regal. Mysterio slides down twice.
The match ends in a time limit draw. Moving on, Kevin Sullivan with Jacqueline and Jimmy Hart is taking on Maverick Wild.
Wild in his debut.
Kevin Sullivan utilizes Jacqueline on the outside a lot during the match.
Sends him in.
He's tougher than the Taskmaster.
Quite a welcome in World Championship.
Oh, here we go.
Thrown on memory lane.
No.
Oh my God.
Go sign her up.
Hands should be watching this.
Oh!
Boy.
For the famous double foot stomp to the midsection.
Sullivan wins the match with a double stomp. After the match, Mike Tenay interviews Kevin Sullivan. Sullivan and Jacqueline cut a promo on the upcoming match at Super Brawl against Chris Benoit with Nancy. Nancy and Jacqueline will have to be strapped together. I should also note here that Jimmy Hart tried to speak, but Kevin Sullivan cut him off. Next, Alex Wright is taking on Hugh Morrus.
Now Palace, very famous arena venue now as we speak. You can call it fast ticket match for both men here. Next to a different tune. It's Benoit. Even though he was falling, but he paid for it now. Now Hugh Morrus with plenty of time.
Morrus wins the match with a moonsault. The main event of the night is Chris Benoit and Steve Mongo McMichael with Deborah and Woman, taking on Chavo Guerrero Jr. and Jeff
Now,
Jarrett.
here we go as Chris. Then
To my knowledge, this is among the first times seem to have it back together again in World
He
Championship.
should be a part of this elite group. The Horsemen sends Benoit to that turnbuckle and drops him under some big wins in World. And if you ask Mike, oh my God, cracked himself over the head with either.
Doesn't surprise me.
Oh, and a drop kick for McGill.
Guilty in the quickness of those drop kicks.
I wasn't sure. She's not letting him in the ring.
Is it too late?
By himself.
Oh, so much for La Bamba.
Mongo wins the match with a tombstone piledriver.
Where you going, Tony?
After the match, Arn Anderson and Ric Flair head to the ring, and Mike Tenay heads down to the ring to conduct a post-match interview with the Horsemen. Arn cuts a promo on Jeff Jarrett and Deborah's relationship, and Benoit's ongoing issues with Kevin Sullivan. Benoit then tells Sullivan that he's playing a game he'll never win. Mongo jumps on the mic and takes out his frustrations with the fans and confronts Deborah on her recent support of Jeff Jarrett. And it's also announced that at Super Bowl, Steve McMichael will be taking on Jeff Jarrett, and if Jeff Jarrett wins, he'll earn a spot with the Four Horsemen. To end the show, Roddy Piper heads to the ring to confront Hollywood Hogan. Hollywood Hogan is not at Nitro this week and will be addressing Piper via satellite. Piper says he came here tonight to fight Hogan because last week Hogan made him break his promise to his son. Hogan says that Piper can't get it done and that Piper is a coward for attacking him and Bischoff from behind last week. The show ends with Piper threatening Hogan with what he's going to do to him at Super Brawl. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new, please don't forget to subscribe. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up. If not, a thumbs down. And I'll see you on the next one.